so you can play. MiniWarGaming's Beat the Cooler Bat Rap!
Hey there, MiniWarGamers. Owen here from MiniWarGaming with Adam to play a game of Warmachine. We're playing 35 points of Cryx up against Trolls, and I'll show you the armies. We're playing Incursion, so we'll see how that goes. He's rather new to the whole capturing flags in Steamroller, but we'll see how it goes. I'll show you the armies in just a moment. So here we go, 35 points of Cryx. We've got the Witch Coven, full unit of Banes with the UA. We've got a Pistol Wraith and a War Witch Siren. We've got 5 jacks. We have Nightmare, of course, because he is my favorite Cryx jack. 2 of the jacks that burrow. I can't recall their names right now. And then 2 Archnodes that shoot. And that's pretty much it. And if you want to just say what you've got, and I'll already know. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so today I'm playing Trolls. I'm running Epic eDommshaper. I got Judge Stone Tide as a solo. A minimum unit of Creel Stone and Bears. Earthborn Diatroll, Mulg, because he's awesome.
Yep.
And I'm running minions, a medium unit of Gatorman Posse with a Witch Doctor, and 2 units of Whelps.
So he thinks he's going to get to heal after I attack. Alright, so here we are deployed, and the Trolls kind of spread out. Gonna see if they can grab all of the objectives, because it is Incursion. And they do a first turn, and here's my brick of Cryx. So here we go, Trolls turn 1. This battle report is brought to you by Heiki Suonoya, who helped the Kickstarter to get our studio started. And we start off Trolls turn 1 with Janessa walking up 5. And then, of course, she's going to use Rockwall, because that's really what Janessa does. She has the ranged spells as well, and the armor pierce, but that rarely comes in. It's usually walk up with the Earthborns and Rockwall. So the Earthborn walks up, and he just kind of hangs out behind the wall. Mulg then runs. He riles and runs, and moves up. And so he does get forced to run, and he gets a little bit extra just so he's got the Fury on him. Next we've got Doomy, and he decides that he's going to use the Earthborn's Animus on himself. And then he uses the remaining Fury and puts it onto the stone so that it'll be able to make more guys. We do notice that you'll see right now that there's one less guy right there. He just forgot to deploy the last member of his group of stone bearers. So he's going to show up in just a moment. But right now he's popping the aura to give them all +2 armor. There he is. Now there's 4 of them. And they all go walking up. They could run or charge or whatever they want to do really, but he decides to just walk up and hang out in the back there with those guys. Probably the better call because you don't know what objective is going to disappear, and Trolls don't really have the speed to run between the objectives if they find out that the wrong one disappears. So anyway, moving on, he moves over to his Witch Doctor, who zombifies all of the Gatormen over on the left side of the flank there, and then he uses the prayer from the Gatormen to give them all Pathfinder. That way they can get a little bit further up and not have to worry about those trees, or at least not be slowed down by them. So they decide that they're all going to run up with Pathfinder, and off they go. Now they have Gatormen are a really good unit. I've seen them used. I find they're more threatening when you use them as an ally to another faction rather than the Gatormen on their own. Because on their own, they kind of find like the Gatorman faction is missing something to really break high armor. They do have this, that, and the other thing that'll help them do it, but on a whole, I find that unless you're playing, like, for example, right now, he's got these Trolls who smash really good, and then the Gatormen will help him out. But anyway, moving on to the Cryx turn, the Coven hands out a bit of focus to each of the Light Jacks, just to give them enough to be able to run up and get behind walls, while the Banes all run and basically get in position, get ready, because they're going to take the charge, because that's how I play with the Banes. They run up, they take the hit, they hopefully tough, if not, at least they got killed instead of my more valuable units, and I only really need 1 Bane to survive so that I can still use Dark Shroud on whatever it is I want my actual Smasher unit, which is Nightmare, to do. These guys run, pre-measured it, they get 14-inch runs. Also over here, same thing, jumps behind the wall. Wraith follows along, and once again, I forgot about the body count special rule. So you'll see it that my Wraiths do not collect any kind of corpse tokens, or soul tokens, which I didn't even recognize was a thing. But yeah, anyway, so I move up. I use different markers to also represent my burrowing, because I did realize, after talking to Dave Potts, who plays a lot of Trolls and does use the burrowers, he didn't see a specific way to use those. like that there's a specific, like in the rules, this is what a burrow marker is, but we did see online that there are the little burrow markers, so I found something close to that size. I used a small base, and then I used the that one token, the green one that you can see in the middle right now, and those are what are going to be used for burrowing. Nightmare with Infernal Machine runs up, and then the sphere moves up and just kind of hangs out. Aragorn with the witches. Which one disappears? The far right. Boom. So now there are only 2 flags left. As we move into Troll's turn 2, he gets all of his fury back. He spends 1 to upkeep Wild Aggression. That was on the Earthborn there. And then he has his whelps. They go running up, trying to get a little bit closer, taking on both sides of the wall there. A few of them behind, a few of them in front. And they're normally a lot more useful than they will be in this game because, yes, his guys can snack on them, but the other thing, the irritation or the special rule that makes it so you have -1 to hit when they're nearby or when they're within melee range won't really be that effective because it only affects against living models. And, of course, almost all, but I think 1 model other than the Witch Coven are not living. So that's all that matters there. The Earthborn uses its Animus, casts it on Mulg, so he will get all the benefits that the Earthborn gets, which is basically if you're within 2 inches of a wall, he's going to get +2 armor, which is the one that you always see, you always want to use. And then he riles it to run over there, or riles it to get up there. Or charges, I don't remember. It was one of the things just to give it a little bit of extra speed. I think we'll say that he tried to charge and then failed to charge. Mulg just moves up and stands next to the wall, so he's getting the benefit of the Earthborn Animus and the benefit of the stone, so he's basically +4 armor, which is nuts. But that's trolls, and that's how they work. So he pops the aura once again. First he fills it up once again with Doomy, drops a bit of fury, and then moves up between those 2. The aura then pops its aura once again, so everyone's getting the +2 armor, and that's about it for them. They all pile in the back, and then they go on the far left where I've put down an AoE that will make it so they can't see through it. Veil of Mists, but he can still run through it. So he was thinking about charging Nightmare after zombifying the Gators with the Witch Doctor. He fails the charge, but it was just to get a little bit of extra speed. Now the Gators, he was originally going to do the prayer that makes them reroll to hit against living, and decided against it, seeing as I don't have any living. And so he decides to do the +1 defense and cause terror, which also won't have really any effect because my guys are mostly dead or warjacks. But he can run up and get behind that wall there and just move that because it's not going to be relevant after this. And so they move up. They're all standing inside the AoE there, which they can't attack because he did have to run in order to get into this. And basically everyone moves up so they can engage my Arc Node. Here we go, moving in the Cryx turn. The Helldriver unburrows, and the other one unburrows as well. Pop. Just somewhere within, not wholly within, but just within. I decided to pop to the other side there and basically line myself up. Upkeeping Infernal Machine, and then I give a bunch of focus to Nightmare because Nightmare deserves all the focus. This Helldriver, he moves up and then burrows. So he's gone once again. Poof. And moving up, charging the Gator with my War Witch Siren. She takes a swing. And then I realized, now you'll see these yellow dice from now on. Those are what either to hit or damage. Basically, whenever you see a roll being made, that's what the roll needs to be. So here we go. Nightmare's attacking. And of course, these aren't his prey, so he's only at 8 or 10. And yeah, he hits. And now it's dice -2. He does 6 points of damage to the first Gator, so it survives with 2 boxes. His second attack, he needs a 5, which hits. Dice -2, and he kills it. But they have tough, thanks to being zombified. And he makes it. So he is now knocked down with 1 box. And so Nightmare buys an attack with his claw. He automatically hits. Well, I'm attacking the not knocked down guy first. Boost the damage against the guy who's not knocked down. Dice -1, easily enough to kill him. Once again, tough. And he is tough. So I buy an attack against the closer one, or the further one, because I know I have other units that can attack the close one. So he has to do a tough once again. And this time he fails it. So that is the end of that Gator. Here are my Banes. They're going to get a charge run order. And the first guy is going to charge. He just barely fits between those 2. And the rest of them just kind of run around. Because really there's nothing that I can do with them. They can't charge over the wall. And they're too far away to go after Mulg and his friends back there. So now it's just a matter of trying to position myself where he can't kill very many with Mog, but he does have Goad, and so when he kills one, he can force it to move 2 more inches. So I'd kind of spread myself out, hoping that I'm just a little bit out of reach range, and trying to figure out where I want all these guys to stand. Because it really matters a lot, because if he can Goad just right, he can Goad right through my army and just devastate everything. So here we go, the Bane against the knockdown guy, he kills him. So once again, another tough roll on the Gator, which fails, and that is the end of that Gator. Here we go, the Hell Driver walks up and burrows, so he's right back underground again and safe from whatever's coming up after him. Aragorn moves up, Witch moves up, other Witch moves up, and the last Witch moves up, and that's about it. And then I just stand there because they didn't really have anything to do here. So they cast Stygian Abyss because I realize that I have an arc node that's still free, and I decide that I'm just going to nuke this one whelp, which I hit it and kill it outright. The arc node then moves and then takes a shot at the pygmy, but he misses. Or no, they're not pygmies, they are whelps. My Wraith moves up, taking a shot at Janissa, which he reroll because it's not flat on the table, but it's a hit. Dice -5, he does 1 point of damage. And then he's got his second shot, which hits, and then dice -5, he does 2. And now because he hit with both of his initials, he can make a third range attack, and having hit, they now have to give up movement or action next turn. And so, bad news for Janissa. And then the little Jack misses on the far end there. Here we go, the posse activates first, and right here as he's about to activate that Gator, he gives him mists to give him +1 defense once more, and then takes a swing at my robot. 8 to hit, and he misses, so he has a second attack, which also unfortunately misses. He then moves up with his Gatorman, Witch Doctor, who creeps up in the back, and then zombifies that Gatorman. Maybe he'll survive, he's got tough, it'll slow everything down. So here he goes, he's taking a shot with Janissa against my Wraith, and it's dice +2, so he can't not kill him, and that is the end of the Pistol Wraith. But that's okay, because he messed it up, and now he doesn't have a rock wall for a turn, and hopefully it'll line me up to get all my Banes in there. Because 2 or 3 Banes will do tons of hurt on a heavy beast, especially if they can just be in there, and then let my Jacks go in and hit them as well. Because Nightmare with Prey, with the charge, with Dark Shroud is pretty silly powerful. And here we go. So he's now got the stones after popping their aura. They're all going to move off towards the left there, heading towards the Gatorman and my Nightmare. So the stone moves up because he plans on moving the rest of his force into the middle of the board there, because he's got to start contesting the zones. If he doesn't hold on to them, then I'll end up winning thanks to points. But he does still have Mog and the Earthborn that have not been touched and are terribly powerful. So he uses his caster and uses the Earthborn's Animus on Mog for free, being one of his abilities there. And then has his caster himself, Doomy anyway, or Doomshaper, walks over just a little bit, heading between Mog and the medium base. Throws away a bunch of Fury, because he plans on riling other stuff. And then he has Mog run up, and he's sitting right on that corner between the, or by the wall, and those guys, and then has the Earthborn walk up, and he wanted to get near the wall, because then he can use the Earthborn's Animus, as well as the stone, and stay stacked up. Here we go, Cryx turn, upkeep Infernal Machine, pull out one of my Hell Drivers, and then the other Hell Driver jumps out, and he's right there as well. So I give 2 to each of them, and 3 onto Nightmare, and then I realize that I don't need to do that, but I'd already done it. So he slams into Mog. I only put 1 on the other one instead of 2. So slams for 1. He needs an 8 because it's -2 to hit because he's bigger than me, but I boost it, which I promptly miss. And the last guy, he just moves over and sits on the objective because my original plan of slamming them both didn't work. And couldn't have worked when I thought about it afterwards. Nightmare is attacking the little fellas, or the last Gatorman, and he fails his tough. So now he's going to take initial at the Witch Doctor, which hits, and it was dice damage, so he takes 5, buys damage with his claw again, barely hits him, but then it's once again dice damage, and it's enough to kill him. And that is the end of the Witch Doctor. The chicken jumps up, jumps over the wall, tries to spit on Janissa, He hits. Oh, gotta reroll that. Hits him. And then dice -1, 6 points of damage, and he was already hurt, and he fails his tough, and that is the end of Janissa, which is nice to see. The other chicken moves up and gets in position so that he can take a few pot shots here. There we go. There we go. Gotta mess up a few charge lanes, and then take a range attack, which misses. The Banes, they just kind of move and shuffle around, getting into position where they can start attacking, or, once again, counterattack. So I get another guy up to hold the objective in case that goes poorly, and they all just kind of shimmy around. 6 to hit the whelp. He hits. It dies. He's a weapon master with Dark Shroud. 6 to hit the whelp. He hits, and it dies as well. And then 6 to hit the other whelp, which he survives. And then, of course, there's the last whelp. Normally it would be the -1 to hit, but they are undead, so they are unaffected by those whelps jumping all over. Taking a swing at the Krillstone. Hit and didn't do enough damage to hurt him. So I move my first member of my coven up, and the other coven moves up, and the last one moves up, and they use their feat. And I score 2 points for Cryx. The feat for the coven, of course, being that all enemy models within their control have their line of sight reduced to 5 inches, and their mat and rat are -2. So the Earthborn activates. He's taking a swing at the Light Jack that tried to attack Mulg, and thanks to Forced Evolution, he gets boosted to hits, and now he's taken 10 damage to his 3, because it was dice +2. 10 to hit on his second initial, which hits thanks to Wild Aggression, then dice +2, 10 points of damage to the 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Still alive. He buys an attack. Thanks to Forced Evolution, he gets boosted once again, which hits, and that's the end of it, because it's dice +2, and he's only got 3 boxes, so splat, he is destroyed. He then goads the Earthborn, so it gets to move 2 inches, and moves up towards my Helljack, and contesting that center zone now. The stone then activates, popping its aura once again, and then they all start moving up so that they can try and attack. So he moves up to there. And this one moves up just a little bit behind Mulg, and that's about it. And that one moves by the Jack as well. He needs 12s to hit, though, thanks to the feat combined with their already high defense. And he misses with both of the attacks. Doomshaper activates. He casts Wild Aggression onto Mulg, and then he moves right over there. Doesn't want to get too close, but he doesn't want to stay too far away. And then sits on that. Mulg charges over into the Hell Driver, and thanks to his charge, he's got enough move to get over that wreck. And just a little bit of designing there. There we go. And they get put in. So here we go. 9 to hit. He hits. Dice +4. Smash. And gotta reroll that because it's not quite flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There we go. Still alive. Buys an attack with his club, which he should have actually done his second initial with his fist, but we messed that up somehow. And he can't not kill him at dice +4, and so he goads Mulg, putting him into those Banes, and like I said earlier, this is what I was afraid of the entire game, that he's going to walk up and do this. So first attack against the Bane. He is -2 to hit, but it doesn't matter, because he's got Wild Aggression, which is just always boosted, is killing me. Boosted against the next guy, buys an attack, of course, which hits, and tough. Not tough. There we go, another Bane goes down. He buys one more attack. Going for the Bane, which hits, and tough. I did make it, but he has an affinity with Doomshaper, so he gets to make one additional attack. And it automatically hits, and it automatically kills, but I do make my tough once again. Here we go, Nightmare's holding that objective, so the Cryx score another point. Upkeep Inferno Machine, and then allocate a bunch of focus over to him. Then I move my Arc Node over, up towards Mulg, and then decide that I'm going to activate this first one. They're still triangulating, so my spells are cost 1 less, and then Aragorn moves up as well. And then I move another one. There we go. So off of those 3, I decide to use my Arc Node and then cast Curse of Shadows onto Mulg and boosting to hit. So I need a 8 or 6 rather. Yeah, that's right, because their command 9 or spell 9. Curse of Shadows. I use Dead Rise on my Banes, and then do charge/run pretty much all across the board. So they run around. They can go right through Mog because of Curse of Shadows, and he does not even get to make a free strike against them as they do it. So they all charge or move into position where they can get attacks. Charge, and charge. Basically, I really just wanted them in there to give them the Dark Shroud. If they do any damage, that's just bonus, because Dark Shroud is amazing. And so these guys over here, they try and charge this whelp. They failed to get the bonus die, but they do make it. So here we go. Hits. Dice -6. He does 10 points of damage to Mog's 5. So his spirit. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. Here we go. The UA attacks. Does dice -6, and he does 14 damage to his 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9. There goes his spirit. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Second attack on the UA. Forced to hit. He misses. Now the attack against the Earthborn hits, and then dice -7, so he does 4 to 3. The Earthborn takes a bit of a hit. 3, 4. And then these guys attacking the whelp, which kills it, because 1 whelp against 3 Banes, the whelp should die. And then we remembered here that he does have whelps to drop, so he drops the whelp from having taken a hit by Mog, as well as dropping another one from taking a hit by the, or taking damage with the Earthborn. And then the other guy attacking the stone, which hits and then kills, and that's that for the stone. And he does take him. Warwitch Siren moves over and does seduction on one of the trolls, and then has him walk over and hit his Creelstone buddy, but he misses. Now, I'm not sure why I bothered to do this, but I did the imprint on Nightmare so that he could get Ghostly, which was redundant because I didn't end up charging over and just walked over to attack Mog anyway. So he moves over with his Reach Claws. He hits because he's mat 12, and then it's dice +1 for damage because he's effectively power 20, there we go. That kills him. Nightmare still has 3 attacks, but unfortunately doesn't get to use them. The little critter walks away because the stone does not have an attack. And the last witch moves up and finishes triangulating on the circle. And I score a point because that is the end of the Cryx turn. So here we go, moving into the trolls. Things are not looking good now that Mog has died. But he eats one of the whelps and heals for a D3, so it puts him up to just having 1 point of damage, I believe. There we go. Here we go. Doomshaper moves first. So he walks up just a little bit. Then he ends up casting Forced Evolution, or Wild Aggression once again. Not Forced Evolution. Then pops his feet. Then has his big critter Trample heading straight towards my Aragorn. And now his feet gives him +3 speed. So he's going to be flying across the board here. So he's gearing up to Trample. We're lining it all up, and that's how far he can go. The only problem with this is that he'll go over everything on the way. The only one that he won't be able to do that to is Nightmare. And Nightmare will get a free strike, and he is Nightmare's new prey. So hopefully the hit doesn't kill him is basically what it comes down to. But he tramples the first Bane, kills it. Trampling the whelp. Kills the whelp too. So he trampled his own whelp. And then he tramples the next Bane. He's needing 6s to hit here. And he kills that one as well. Well, tough. Failed tough. And that's the end of him. Trampling the next Bane. And he kills that one too, but I get my tough roll, which I fail as well. And now he's trampling the Bannerman because the guy who gives out the tough, which he kills him as well. So I get one last tough attempt, and I fail that one as well. So there goes 4 Banes, no toughs. But Nightmare gets his free strike. He needs Snake Eyes to hit. He hits. And then his dice damage, and I do 14 to his 3, which is enough to break his body, which pretty much that was the best I was hoping for. I was hoping for a 1, 3, or a 5, so I could either break mind, spirit, or body. So there goes his body. He buys an attack after having trampled, hitting Aragorn on a 7, which he does. He boosts the damage, so he gets 2 dice damage. It's dice -4 thanks to my focus camp, and he doesn't do any. So he buys an attack. He needs a 7, which he hits because, oh, he misses this one. Unfortunate. And then he boosts his buys a last attack, which hits. He has one fury left. There we go. And he boosts the damage, and he does 2 points of damage to one of the witches. Splat.
Gameplay like these cards, for example. So here we are. Good game. Handshake.
That's a lot of fun.
And it is a Cryx victory, thanks to Nightmare, who broke his body as he tried to trample over all my Banes, who could not make a tough roll to save their lives. But at this point, it is pretty much over because I'm going to score a point from that. He could walk a Creelstone and stall. I'm going to kill him. And Nightmare will walk over and kill Doomy, or kill this thing, or whatever he feels like doing, because he's Nightmare. Anything you would have done differently?
I think I probably would have gone with maybe Grim and use a lot more units instead of big beast, just so I'm matching your model count a little higher. But no, otherwise that's pretty much how I expected it to go, except for the Nightmare wasting my body right at the last minute. But no, it's a good game.
Because Nightmare having to get a new prey after Mulg went down, of course I would pick the other heavy beast. And even if I didn't, he was mat 12, POW 18. So
Yeah.
it was not exactly, it was his only chance though, because if he had trampled to here, which would have kept him out of the free strike, or at least in the free strike, he would have only been able to hit the one, because you don't have reach, right?
No.
Yeah, so you had to go right there, and then you only would have been able to hit one, which, yeah, you would have messed up my triangulation, but I would have survived.
Oh, you know what? If I would have charged him, I could have goaded to your...
Oh, that would have, well, you still would have got the free strike.
Yeah.
So you would have, but you would have killed one for sure at least.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah. Because goad doesn't make you immune to free strikes, does it?
No.
No, okay.
No, it lets me change my angle, so I might have just been out of your reach.
Yeah, because you definitely would have got the, oh yeah, you're right, because you could have come in kind of like, oh no, because...
Yeah, I would have painted like more this way, and then go it that way.
Right, right.
But, oh well.
No, I don't think it would have worked, because these are an inch across, so let's say you came up to this way, even if you moved 2 inches without reach, I don't think you would have made it in. I think that was your only chance. It basically came down to whether or not I roll Snake Eyes on that last attack.
Much,
And, or I could have just rolled poorly for damage. It was a nice roll, like 6-4-4. Yeah.
I was pretty shocked. But yeah, no, it was a good game. I liked it.
No, certainly good. So stay tuned, MiniWarGamers. We're going to have more Warhammer, Warmachine, and Warhammer 40k battle reports. And happy wargaming.
To see another match between Adam and I, click below to join the MiniWarGaming Vault. You can get a 7-day free trial where you can see this bat reps and many hobby tip videos. Happy wargaming.